I started mine in July 2019.
Yeah.
You started yours in October. That's what the data says.
Yes.
October 2019. He's at 1,200 or 1,020 videos, something like that. Yeah. I'm only at 47. So gives you an idea of how much of a hard worker this gentleman is. Let's talk about your journey on YouTube.
Yeah.
Man, from where I'm standing, it looks like you're the hardest working YouTuber on the continent in South Africa. I mean, in the past few days, you've been producing 3-4 videos a day.
Yeah.
What drives you to work so hard? I think those people are right. You need to calm down. You need to relax before you burn yourself out.
I found it's very effective to make individual videos on subjects just so that YouTube can recommend them to people that actually want to interact with that particular one subject. And another thing is that I think we live in a hyper information age where little information is not enough. We are flooded with information. We are used to being flooded with information. And so I personally actually started doing 2 to 3 videos as an experiment because everybody kept saying, no, make 1 video a day. It's kind of like the advice for YouTube. For me, I found that YouTube actually gives 3 notifications a day for each and every single person. So they will give you 3. You as Dino, they will give you 3 maximum notifications to one particular person. So I was like, okay. Oh, 3 notifications. How about this? I'll send 3 videos then. And so what drives me is that there's just so much to cover. And in each and every single one of them, I always try to give a lesson out of each and every episode. There is no episode from me if there's no lesson. Okay. That's the thing that drives me, is that every single video I have a point to point out. And so if you think about it, I'm preaching 3 times a day.
Basically, yeah.
If you think about it.
Who do you work with? Seems like a lot of work for one person to do.
I work by myself. I think at the moment it's not because it's, I think it's convenience. Trying to get someone to do my thumbnails, that's just going to be too much headache. Just trying to get someone to edit the videos, that's too much of a headache. And also personally, I do like the creative aspect of it. There's something about editing, like you shoot the video and you're just excited to sit down and just start getting to work with it. And so I like working by myself at the moment, but of course I can't keep up with it for the long term. But when we get there, I will then be able maybe to hire 1 or 2 people to help, particularly with the editing. I love the creative aspect of creating a video. And so that alone can drive me to obsess 4 hours over one particular video. In the morning, I think I started shooting at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I ended around 6 o'clock. Wow. Everything, just cutting the video down. And I think I sent you a message at like 8 o'clock saying, I'm waiting for you. I don't want to sleep because if I go to sleep, I'm not going to be awake. So when you go, I'm going to upload the video and then I'm going to go back to, I'm going to go to sleep. So it does have a negative to it, is to that I have to kind of like abandon a little bit of the social life and stuff. But it's within my work ethic. My mom is a hardworking person. I think she really drives me. And I always say this, if you were to look into my phone, I'm not going to show you that. I have 1 picture of my mom. Yeah. My entire phone, I have 1 picture of my mom. And it was one particular day when she was going to buy stuff. My mom sells stuff. She has a job, but she still does these side hustles where she sells stuff and stuff like that. So it's that image of a restless person like my mom which keeps me just working. I don't know, if I sit down and I'm watching a movie or something, I feel like, how much time have I wasted? And so that's where the work ethic comes from also.
Okay, how did you get started in this whole content creation business? Because it's a business now, it's your full-time business.
Yeah.
I nearly said job, but it's not a job, it's a business, right?
Yeah. Initially, it wasn't actually intentional. I was doing evangelism, for those that don't know. I was doing in-person evangelism in schools. I used to hand them out these letters. I think I should frame one of them one day. I used to hand schools these letters, and they would give me appointments to come and do assemblies and stuff like that. Over time, they saw that I was always there. So they just gave me free periods and whatnot. So I started evangelizing. And these kids, when they would be leaving high school, they would say, we are leaving school. How do we get in contact with Thingy? And by that time, I was using small little videos. I'll go to the schools with projectors and stuff like that and project for the kids, small little videos. And so I just took those videos and uploaded them. Now, something crazy happened. One day, I think I made a video. I think it was like ZCC or something like that. That video went viral.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, what just happened? I think the video had got like 30,000 views. And so I was like, I have a lot more reach here. I am reaching a lot more people. And after the first batch of kids left school, that's kind of like just what got me into thing. It was never like, oh, I'm going to go and start a business doing YouTube. Like, for instance, right now we are in a studio environment. It's strictly studio here. There's no table. There's no bed. We pump up mattress. That's it. We're not here to sleep. We're not here. It's not really the life here. It's a work environment. And another reason why I respect the platform that YouTube is because I have these people that I have never met. And on a daily basis, I might get 20,000 individuals that click on videos, different videos out of a 1,000 library that watch all these videos.
I think it's 1,200 and something, if I'm not mistaken.
Right now. Because if you're producing 2-3 videos a day, and sometimes you might take breaks, that accumulates very quickly.
Just to give you a clear picture, as you're watching this, we started our channels around about the same time. He's on his 10th, 13th channel. I think I'm on my 8th or something like that. I started mine in July 2019.
Yeah.
You started yours in October. That's what the data says.
Yes.
October 2019. He's at 1,200 or 1,020 videos, something like that. Yeah. I'm only at 47. So gives you an idea of how much of a hard worker this gentleman is.
The funny thing is, and also I just want to take you back to that thing of the 3 notifications thing. It was actually a Valentine's surprise. I had done it as an experiment, and it jumped up my views like crazy. I did it as an experiment. If you can go back to 2019, because 2019 I got banned from the previous channel, bogus claims. Now I know how to tackle you. Don't come at me with that. And so I re-uploaded my old videos. And I just went on a hiatus, really dead depressed by losing the channel. Because by that time, it was at 20,000 subscribers. Wow. And then December, the Wishiri and Jay Israel thing happened. I uploaded a video on that. Kayam Tetwa's divorce thing came up. One other motivational preacher had a Khwajez dating and whatnot. Those 3 videos picked my channel up. Within 2 months, I had 1,000 subscribers. So I was a bit motivated to go back, but I still didn't have my full motivation. So I convinced myself to making videos. So if you check my old videos, I was using a cell phone. And so it was an easy way to trick myself to creating content again. And February comes up, 2020, and which is where the crazy part comes in. February comes in and Valentine's comes, and I announced that there was a 2-part episode of ZCC I wanted to make, but I could not make it one episode because it felt like 2 different subjects. So it was actually a coincidence. I stumbled on it. The same way I stumbled on me starting YouTube, I stumbled on the 3 episodes per day thing, and it jumped my views, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's do that.
So that's the trick. If you want to get started, here's advice from Africa's hardest working YouTuber, Ulrich. He's saying 3 videos a day.
Yeah.
So in your content creation journey, what is the one thing that stands out for you that you've learned about yourself?
Repeat that again.
In your content creation journey, what is the one thing that stands out? There could be many, but what is the one thing that stands out now that you've learned about yourself in particular?
About me?
Yes.
Or about YouTube?
You. Yourself.
I'm obsessive.
Obsessive personality.
Yeah, I have an obsessive personality. And it goes back even by the time when I was doing Forex. I could build strategies. I teach you the strategy. If you have a high tolerance of emotion, you could be making killer amounts. And a lot of people retired because of the strategies that I
How
used
did
to
you
teach.
lose money in crypto if you had a strategy?
I
Or
have
didn't
a
you stick to your...
I have a terrible emotion. Remember?
Okay.
I have terrible obsession. Because of the obsession, the losses don't hang very well on me. Like, I don't mind investing money into stocks because I know they are slow. I just don't look at them. Like, I've never looked at my portfolio for like 3-4 days right now. But when it comes to Forex, I was very attached because I know it's moving.
Yeah.
But stocks, I don't know they are moving. And so because of that obsessive character, it doesn't work well in certain areas and it works well in things. Like, for instance, today's videos, the videos that I shot today, I've been obsessing about these videos for 2 weeks. We were talking about them earlier on. I've been obsessing because I'm like, this is not good. I wake up, I shoot the videos, I don't like them, I trash them down, and I rebuild again until I come up with something that I'm happy with. I'm like, okay, I'll put this out. You know, and sometimes the subscribers will be like, Ricky, you're too hard on yourself. Just put out the videos the way they are. They'll be fine. But that's the thing that I have learned is that I have an obsessive personality. Not on pickily, sneakily small things, but it's things that I feel like they've helped me grow. Like, for instance, I wasn't a talkative person. Like right now as I'm talking, I'm moving, I'm fidgeting around and stuff like that. That's the presenter, Ricky. I've learned presenting has a certain way of speaking. I had to learn that.
You did say you're an introvert.
I'm an introverted person. If I have the internet, my life is sorted. And so I had to learn all these other things, but that part of me having an obsessive thingy, it tells you why I can make 3 videos a day. I'm going to obsess about it until I get it right. If it tires me, I'm going to take a nap, I'll wake up, and I'll do it again.
Yeah, he keeps pointing at there's a bed, by the
There's
way.
a bed. There's
Airbed.
literally...
Okay, what did you learn about the people you create the content for? Or let me say, the Christian community from content creation that you've been producing?
We don't think the same. We don't think the same. And sometimes you have a much more higher kind of a view of what can they tolerate or what do they want to see. And sometimes you don't realize they're like, dude, just relax. We love the content. That's the thing that I have had to really appreciate about whatever. It's like YouTube knows who to give you, like the audience that comes to your channel. They're like directly fit with you. Like there are certain subjects, we're not going to mention which subjects. There are certain subjects that have been happening recently that I've not talked about. And none of my subscribers have ever asked me, Ricky, you've not talked about that. Why? I think we are at the same place where we have outgrown talking about things. And so the one thing that I've learned is that your values become their values. You care about the same thing that they care about. And so just really picking back at your mind, like if you were to kind of like mirror back into your own journey, what you're thinking to create content on, they want you to create content on that.
Couple of gems here, man, you're dropping on this whole YouTube, understanding the algorithm and those things. And it's very important for anyone who wants to be a creator. Understand how YouTube works. Look at those statistics. So there's this thing that's been baffling me with you. You are hiding the number of your subscribers. Why?
It's subscribers are like age, if you think about it. You comfortable with it. The person who's looking from outside might not be. That's how I see numbers of subscribers. I've grown with the audience. There was a point where I had 1 subscriber, and I can tell you who that was. It was Shonisani from Pretoria. He was the first subscriber he was the first person that subscribed to my channel. And so it's that I remember the days I had 100 subscribers. I remember when I had 1,000 subscribers. I remember hitting that milestone. I grew up with that audience. But then there is someone who comes on the channel and is like, oh, you're speaking like this because you have 100,000 subscribers or whatever the number of subscribers you have. They haven't grown with me with those numbers. And so they haven't seen me having to say something on the channel and the subscribers say, Ricky, on this one, are you sure? Ricky, can you please really go back? And then on the next episode, I literally address that and we have grown together to think. So that's one of the reasons why I don't show my subscribers on the channel. If you're interested, I'm at 57,000 subscribers. I averagely grow by 40 subscribers a day. Averagely. But on days like today, when there's this videos that we are talking about on the earlier episode, I'm growing at about 60 to 100 and something subscribers. And so my average is 1.5. So I know in the next 2 years, I'll be at 100,000 subscribers. Now, you see, my mindset is already grown to 2 years from now. The other person hasn't. That's why I hide my subscribers.
Okay. Your growth plans?
Growth?
Growth plans for the channel, for your content creation business.
First thing to really grow the content, I need to complete my other aspect of editing. I obsess about editing. I'm really I don't just make a video, just poof. It has to be good. Why? Because I've learned that every single one of the presentation, it's a new presentation to someone. It's fine with my audience, but then to someone, it's a new audience. So you have to make it good at the get-go. That's the first thing. I need to add a little bit more vibe to each and every single video. If I can get every single video to look like a movie, perfect. That's the first thing to grow. Number 2, potentially a website, and to grow the audience outside of thingy, which is my WhatsApp number. The reason for that is that even if I lose any particular other platform, I can simply just go back to my WhatsApp number, and then my audience is still right there. And so those are the areas for my which I really want to grow. Outside of that, I don't plan over that. I don't want to.
I'm glad you mentioned the website thingy, because that's one of my plans too this year. It's something I've been putting off. I hate making New Year's resolutions. When I started my channel, I thought I was going to start in 2020, but I thought, hey, why not start now? You know, and it started. But as I'm saying, the website is something I need to start, because you need to grow out of these platforms or these content hubs and have your own platform where everything is stored there, where everything is kept.
Your channel is how big right now?
I'm at 25.8
thousand subscribers.
Yeah.
How many views?
Averaging about between 70 and 150 a month for the past, since May last year.
Not like total?
Oh, views that are 1.4
1.4 million.
Yeah.
1.4 million. My goodness, you are a viral.
No, there's one Maponga video that really did well.
Okay.
It got almost, it's at 700,000 views in a space of 6-7 months.
You're a viral. Let me explain what I mean by a viral. I don't have a video that is over 200,000 views. I don't
think it's me, man. I think it's Maponga. But then again,
not
Maponga has done a lot of interviews. None of those interviews have reached that number, right? I think I have an advantage because I knew his background, because we grew up in the same
the conversation
church
just really
environment. And the funny thing, when I did that interview, I really didn't feel like it went great. I went there, I felt rushed. I thought he was not in the greatest of space mentally.
Yeah.
But we still did it. And I was surprised at the numbers, you know?
Yeah.
And I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about Maponga leaving the country, and he was like, do a follow-up. I was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want my channel to be a Maponga channel, right? People must get used to me and my presentation and how I conduct interviews.
Awesome stuff.
So I'm trying to move away from that. But I don't know. I might get tempted to get hold of him and just talk about other things and throw that in there. I don't know. We shall see. Okay, so second last question. What misconceptions did you have about the whole content creation space before starting your YouTube channel?
Okay.
So I guess that would go with revelations that have come up, you know, in embarking on this journey.
Being at my 8th channel, it's very difficult for me to remember like the earlier ones. But one particular misconception that I had was that all my subscribers knew when I posted a video, or all my subscribers would see my video.
Okay.
And so, which is another thing again, having 5,000 subscribers doesn't mean you're going to get 5,000 views. not every one of those 5,000 is getting a notification. And so that's misconception number one right there, is that what the number is not always what you see back reflected. Number two, I never thought YouTube was an African thing. That's raw honesty. I never saw. Let me be very clear. I never saw a YouTube check until 2019. Bear in mind, I've been making content for over 10 years. My first YouTube channel was in 2010, 2011. And I never got anything, because remember, coincident.
Had you registered your AdSense account?
Yeah, but it wasn't making money.
Okay.
I mean, like I remember one particular screenshot. I still have it in my cell phone. I keep it as a memory. I was making like 20 rands a month. So I was like, nah, YouTube is not a South African.
We've all come from there.
And it went like maybe 100 rands or something. And so in 2019, Aflukau.
I want to ask, where are you now? But I won't.
Yeah, the numbers are crazy now. I mean, like the channel pays for the studio. The channel pays for the giveaways. Like right there, if you look right across there, there's Bibles over there. Those are giveaways for those are sponsored by the channel. And so we are. It's almost it's something that I never thought.
That's something I've actually learned from you. I'm actually giving away books now. I think I learned from one of your lives. You were giving away a King James Bible.
Yeah. This is how I make it beneficial. We make a video, and on that video, it's not just okay. We are giving away a thing. I make a video, and on that video, we increase engagement by doing what? We do a giveaway on that video. So comment. And of course, the Bible we are giving away, it's worth more than what the video will make. But other videos support that giveaway. And
it's a form of gratitude and appreciation for your audience. You know?
Yeah, if I'm giving away, I'm giving away something that I really love. Another thing, I'm giving away Bibles that I really, really, really love. Like, go and buy a Bible for like 800 rands. This is a Bible that I wanted back then, and I would have had to work some crappy job in order to get it. And so it's that type of a thing where what I want is what I would want for you. And so that's one of the misconceptions. I never saw YouTube paying in something. I was telling you where the real point, when I thought, oh my goodness, this is actually even possible in South Africa for a church channel, let alone. 2019, Alf Lukao happens. I'm still just coming back to our apologetics, and one of the subscribers by then texts me, Ricky, there's a story here, have you seen it? Like, what is it about? Like late 12 o'clock, I check the message. She tells me there's been a resurrection thing. I'm like, what? And that's where one of the best stories of my YouTube journey has come from. Is might not like Alf and all that kind of jazz which he pulled, but I researched this. I saw the story at 12 at night. I researched the story from 12 all the way until 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm just researching like embalming processes and whatnot and all this kind of stuff so that I can have my own points to add into it. I post the video at 8 o'clock in the morning. By 1 o'clock, the video is at 10,000 views.
Wow.
That was my first time seeing a video like blow up that fast. I've had channels which grew to like with one video particularly, which had like the ZCC video that I said blew up on my first channel. It had like 300,000 views. But this one, this fast, I'd never seen such. And the next day, Twitter caught the story by Tuesday.
Okay.
When Thursday, Trevor Noah covers the story in the US. All of a sudden, Friday, Saturday, there is now the mortuary guys getting involved.
Yes.
That particular video, within a week, I had 300,000 views. And bear in mind, my first 200,000 wasn't monetized because YouTube used to have a problem with demonetization by that period. Self-certification was not there.
Okay.
And so my first 200,000 views, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that was a check.
Money.
My first check. But little did I know that the Trevor...
That would have been over 10,000 rands, eh?
200,000, maybe 3,000, 4,000, 4,000. You're talking your kind, your CPM. My CPM is a little bit down because it's a 15-minute video. The next week comes up, and the issue comes up from the workplace. When the workplace start questioning him, the story now starts trending in the UK. I get a second wave now. So the first wave was the local guys on Twitter.
Don't you just love those? The second wave.
goodness, the
Goes to a
second
third wave.
Oh, the second.
It's great.
Mkovivi kind of vibes. The third wave of the UK, it blew my video right through the wall. The video went to 700,000 views.
Wow.
That video was worth, should I mention those numbers?
Yeah.
That video was worth 15,000 rand. They paid it over 2 months. That was the first time I ever saw a check on YouTube. I was like, what?
That should have been motivation enough to
Yeah,
get going, right?
that was it. And all in the name of what? I saw a DM from a subscriber who said, Ricky, have you seen the story? I learned the value of listening to your subscribers right there. And so that was a very key point.
And I think it's important, that relationship between you and your subscribers.
Yeah.
Listen to them, even though nabo mamela, but it's also important for you because it's a communication thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a two-way thing. There's a listener, there's a one who delivers the message, and it goes both ways.
Yeah.
You wait for the response and you act on the response.
Yeah.
So I think that's a key and very important lesson. Now, what advice would you give to someone who wants to get started with YouTube in 2022?
First of all, know your niche. Know your niche because know who is in the space and what they are covering. I'll give you an example of two people that are not best of friends, but they're in the same genre. That would be T-World, Ndibuti, and Owami. They're not friends. They don't see eye to eye. But there's something about the two of them that can help you understand what I mean by know your space. Owami does commentary. Ndibu does reporting. And the one thing you'll notice that they're doing the same stories, but they're covering them differently.
So I know Owami. Who's the other one?
Ndibu T.
Okay.
She runs T-World.
Oh, T-World. I know T-World. Yeah.
T-World.
Those are the biggest entertainment news channels in the country.
Yeah.
Probably in Africa.
Same genre, but they cover the stories differently. Ndibu is only reporting. That's why her videos are like two minutes or something like that. She's just telling you this is what it is, this is what it is, this is what it is. She's out of there. Now, Owami brings in the mind to it. And so there is room for both of them. But some people might gravitate towards the other because they are very opinionative. They gravitate towards Owami. And then others, they just like, what's the gist,
yes.
what's the story, and that's it. And so what does that teach you? That might teach you that know what you give in. Know what you, for instance, Ndibuti decided to hire other people to start speaking and doing her reporting. Didn't fly very well to her audience.
Okay.
He didn't fly very well. Why? The audience is used to her. We want you. You can hire them to do other things, but you keep doing. So it's that thing where know what you bring into the table. Like for instance, if you speaking church doctrine and church, everybody's all serious. I'm going to laugh about it. I need you to calm down. I need you to understand where we are. This is what we are dealing with. Okay, guys, hands up. It's the situation where that's what I bring. But at the same time, I don't just bring the humor to it. Is that these are subjects I've studied for years. Another person might think, oh, this kid, he probably just learned this. I've been studying these subjects from back in 2010, all the way through. Before I came to Thingy, fun fact, 2016, I had just finished reading my Quran back to back after I'd been converted for years, of course, but I'd been practicing my apologetics. And so I wanted to study from cover to cover so that I can see if I can pick out points for my argument with Muslims. And I would go to places where my Baba was a Muslim and he would have his friends over there and we would start debates on these things. So I wanted to see how good am I in argument. So I had to sharpen my skill in argument. It took me 3 years. to get to a point where those guys could not answer the questions that I was now asking. But it took 3 years. And I remember one of those debates, I recorded it. And I went back home and I listened back and I was like, okay, now I can argue. And so
working with intent, the
Yeah.
goal in mind.
and it was very gradual, slow. Okay, today I'm going to present this. Whatever he brings, I'm going to stick to this point. And I went there and I would present and I'd go back and I'd look back at those things. And so those things would make always, if you didn't watch the first video which we made, conflict. I always presented conflict in front of me. And the conflict, sometimes there'll be like 3-4 guys. By the end of our discussion, there'll be like 3-4 guys who are just debating. One brings up a verse, I answer that one. One brings up, and at the end of the day, I find I'm debating 5 different individuals, answering each and every one of their questions, and some of my questions, they were not answering. So that's when I knew, I now know what to present. But it took all those years, me practicing that. And then by 2016, 17, I started doing my first ones. Funny enough, Omotoso gets arrested around that same period. And when Omotoso gets arrested, that was like literally my first video coming back into apologetics. And I found my voice right at about that time. But if you watch that video, I'm just sitting like this. Yeah, guys, these things. This is what it is. I don't know. What do you guys think? And someone said, your presentation is a little bit off. I'm like, okay, presentation. So I started working on that one also. So one of the tips that someone might want to know, it's a bit of a long explanation.
It is.
It is what it is.
I was actually thinking, what was the question? Does he still remember? But you still got it.
I've learned to always retract back. One thing to note here is this. Know the process and know what it brings, what you bring. If you can track that, you're going to be an amazing presenter. And if you keep working at what your goal is, and the goal should never be the views, the goal should never be, like, for instance, I'll give you this hint. When you upload a video, never look at the views, look at the click-through rate and the retention of the video. That's it. If my video is over 40% on retention, we're Gucci here. If the click-through rate is over 7%, that's what YouTube says.
Amazing.
You're good, okay? Never mind how...
That's almost perfect. 7% click-through rate.
That's perfect. Those are the 2 things you focus on. If you start, like, this is a big trend, everybody's getting views. Yeah, you're not those people, okay? That's why I said your channel is a viral channel. You look at channels like AMT7. AMT7, just go check him out. AMT7 TV. He makes videos on church presentation, but he reports the subject.
Okay.
He presents something different to what Ricky is presenting. But look at something. He can make a video on the same topic I make and get 500 views. He's at about 30,000 subscribers and get 500 views. And you're like, this channel is down the hole. No, he's not. We literally had to sit me and him and talk about it. To say, that doesn't define your channel. Your channel is a viral channel. Like, he posts something about TB Joshua, they're opening a memorial service. Boom, he has 500,000 views. I don't get videos like that, but he does. And so sometimes get away from the view of what you think YouTube will present to you. Know that, okay, my channel doesn't get viral. Like, I don't get viral videos. My videos, 3,000, 5,000, 3,000, 5,000. If it's a good video, 10,000 views. That's it. We're Gucci here. But what I've learned is that YouTube has found a baseline for growing my channel. And it keeps me in that baseline. Now, the thing about it is this. When my channel eventually goes viral, I would advise, go look at a guy. There's a YouTuber by the name of Linus Tips.
I know Linus.
Linus never
Tech.
got a viral video in years. All the way till he grew. I don't know how many subscribers he is now. All the way until not like 2-3 years back. And then all of a sudden now, CoffeeZilla, there's a guy by the name of CoffeeZilla who just made a report about the people that are most trending. And he says Linus Tip is one of the guys who are top trending. Wait a minute. Linus Tips never got viral videos back then for over 10 years. But when he does, eventually, they stay up there. So just a tip. When my channel eventually gets up there, don't hate. Relax. And so these things It's just one of those things where know what category YouTube has put your content, and don't give yourself a headache about things that you know nothing about. You don't see the views, just focus on getting a higher click-through rate and focus on being a good presenter and making the best videos to keep the viewer watching the video. Those are the things that I would tell.
Thank you very much, Ricky. I've been watching you, I think, for the past 18 months or so. I've come to love your channel. I've come to appreciate your content. I've learned a couple of things from you. Keep up the good work. I really admire your work ethic. One day, when I grow up, I want to work as hard as you do. I also like the fact that, you get people who just come and say things because they are good with words. But what I've picked up from you is that you actually put in the time in studying the Word of God. And by so doing, you are helping a lot of people who are finding their way through this Christian journey. And the work that you're doing is really God ordained. I hope God keeps you grounded and keeps blessing you with time and age and the mind to keep doing these things. Thank you very much.
Eventually, like you, marriage.
Thank you very much. That will come.